Hello guys, this is now the second video for part 1 of the subject police operational planning. Okay, so let us continue with the question number 16. The plan which address the pandemic COVID-19 is classified as, or COVID-19 pandemic is classified as A. Reactive plan, B. Proactive plan, C. Strategic plan, and D. Missionary plan. Okay, and the answer is of course reactive plan. Why reactive plan? No, because a problem already exists before they have developed the plan to address the uh, COVID-19 pandemic. So therefore, it is called as a reactive plan. Okay? If a plan was prepared before a crisis starts, then that is called proactive. However, in the case of COVID-19 pandemic, the problem already arises. Then when the problem already exists, then the government have to do an action. But before they have uh, to do an action, they have prepared a plan. So the plan is called reactive because it is a result of a crisis. Okay. Question number 17. It is a type of plan which is designed to the long range and overall goals of organization. It is a type of plan which is designed to the long range and overall goals of organization. Long range, dun pa lang meron na kayong clue, no? O, A. Reactive plan, which we have discussed in question number 16. It is a plan which is a result of a certain crisis, no? Pagka naman proactive, okay, these are plans in anticipation of problems, although not all police problems are predictable. Many are, and it is possible for a police department to prepare a response in advance, no? While reactive, a particular problem may occur for which the department has no plan and must quickly develop one. Okay? Hindi na yung dalawa. And missionary plans are plans which are essential statements that identify the role of the police in the community and a future condition or state to which the department can aspire. A vision may also include a statement of values to be used to guide the decision-making process in the department. Okay? Therefore, the answer here is a strategic plan. Strategic. It is long range in nature. Strategic plans are designed to meet long range overall goals of the organization. Such plans allow the department to adapt to anticipated changes or develop a new philosophy or model of policing. Like for example, is community policing. One of the most important aspects of strategic planning is to focus on the external environmental factors that affect the goals and objectives of the department and how they will be achieved. Important environmental factors include personal needs, population trends, technological innovations, business trends and demand, crime problems, and community attitudes. Okay. Another example of strategic plan is that the police plan 2030, which is a long range in nature. No? Yeah. Okay, next question number 18. Rules and regulations of police department is what type of operational plan? Rules and regulation are what type of operational plan? Because there are four types of operational plan. Rules and regulations are what type of operational plan? A. Standing plan, B. Functional plan, C. Time specific plan, or D. Operational efficiency plan. And the answer is standing plan. no? Standing plan. Standing plan provides the basic framework for responding to the organizational problems. The organizational vision and values, strategic statement, policies, procedures, and rules and regulations are example of standing plans. Standing plans also include guidelines for responding to different types of incidents. For example, civil disturbance, hostage situation, crime progress, and felony car stops. Okay. Question number 19. The following are types of operational plan. 1. Standing plan. 2. Functional plan. 3. Time specific plan. 4. Operational efficiency plan. Letter A, 1 only. B, 1 and 2 only. C, 1, 2, and 3 only. Or delta 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And of course, the answer based on the notes is of course 1, 2, 3, and 4. Meaning, all of those 4 enumerated above are types of operational plan. Okay? So, ang hindi pa nadidiscuss dito is yung operational efficiency, effectiveness, and productivity plans. Ano? We have already discussed standing plan at saka standing plan. Operational efficiency, effectiveness, and productivity plans are essentially the measure of comparisons to be used to assess police activities and behaviors or the output and the result or outcomes. If one of goals of the police department is to reduce crime rate, any change that occurs can be compared to the past rates or crime rates in the same community or crime in other communities or state or a nation. If crime rate was reduced while holding a reducing cost, that would reflect an improvement not only in effectiveness but also in departmental activity. Okay? Question number 20. A plan used to solve precise problems such as drug crackdown, crime prevention, program, and the like is what type of operational plan? A. Standing plan. B. Functional plan. C. Time specific plan. Or D. Operational efficiency plan. And of course, this is the definition of time specific plan. Okay? So, what is time specific plan? These are concerned with specific purpose and conclude when an objective is accomplished or a problem is solved. Okay? So, within, or it is a plan which can be used within a specific time only. No? Yan. Pagka natapos na, sabi dyan, natapos na yung objective, na-accomplish na, then that is also concluded. No? Specific police programs or projects such as drug crackdown, crime prevention program, neighborhood cleanup campaign, are good examples of time specific plans. Okay, so time specific plan. Next, question 21. The framework for the operation of major units of PNP such as patrol and investigation are what type of plan? The framework for the operation of major units of PNP such as patrol and investigation are what type of plan? A. Standing plan. B. Functional plan. C. Time specific plan. Or D. Operational efficiency plan. Okay. And the answer of course is functional plan. Functional. Okay, so functional plan includes the framework for operation of major functional units in the organization, such as the patrol and investigation. It also includes design of the structure, how the different functions in units are to relate and coordinate the activities, and how resources are to be allocated. Okay, so how the functions of units in the organization, the how they will execute the functions, no? Coordinate the activities. Yeah, those are examples of functional plan functions. Okay, next question. Okay, question number 22. The problem-oriented approach in planning is also known as letter A, radical planning, B, synoptic planning, C, transactive planning, and D, incremental planning. No? A problem-oriented approach in planning is also known as letter A, radical planning, B, synoptic planning, C, transactive planning, or D, incremental planning. Okay? The answer is synoptic planning or synoptic planning. No? So, synoptic planning, or also known as rational comprehensive approach, is considered as the dominant tradition in planning. It is also the departure of the most other planning approaches. This model is especially appropriate for police agencies as it is based on problem-oriented approach to planning. It relies heavily on problem identification and analysis of planning process, and it can assist the police administrators in formulating goals and priorities in terms that are focused on specific problems and solutions that are often confront law enforcement. Okay, so ang daming tawag sa synoptic planning, It's also known as rational comprehensive. It is the departure of almost other planning approaches. Okay? Yan. The term synoptic or synoptic was derived from the word or Greek word synoptikos, then Latin synoptikos, then became synopsis or synoptic, which means seeing all together. Okay? That is the etymology of the word synoptic. Means seeing all together. Yan, all together. Next, question number 23. It is considered as the dominant tradition in planning. It is also the departure for other planning approaches. A, radical planning, B, synoptic planning, C, transactive planning, and D, incremental planning. And the answer is synoptic planning, as I have read a while back, no? And that synoptic planning is the most point of departure for most other planning approaches. Yan. Next, question number 24. It is a planning approach which heavily relies on problem identification and analysis of planning process that can assist police administrator in formulating goals and priorities in terms that are focused on specific problems and solutions that often confront law enforcement. Okay? In question number 22 a while back that I have already explained, this is also definition of synoptic planning. Okay? So, synoptic planning. Yun po ang sagot sa question number 24. Okay? Question number 25. All of the following must be considered in selecting alternatives in synoptic planning except A, suitability, B, feasibility, and C, acceptability, or D, implementability. And the exception is, of course, the implementability. So what are the things to be considered in selecting preferred alternatives? Okay, of course, you have to consider the suitability. Ano ba yung suitability? The course of action is evaluated in accordance with general policies, rules, and laws. No? It should be in accordance with policies. Feasibility. These include the appraisal of effects of a number of factors weighed separately and together, no? Is the alternative feasible? And of course, acceptability is judged to be suitable and feasible are then analyzed in acceptability studies. Are the actions acceptable or the alternatives acceptable or not? Yan, okay? Okay, so guys, take note of the things to be considered in selecting alternatives in synoptic planning. You have suitability, feasibility, and acceptability. Okay? Yan. Take note Suitability means each course of action is evaluated in accordance with general policies, rules, and laws. Feasibility include the appraisal of effects, of number of factors weighed separately and together. Then acceptability, it is judged to be suitable and feasible, then it will be analyzed in acceptability studies. Okay, question number 26. What is the first step in synoptic planning? A. Set goals. B. Prepare for planning. C. Describe the present situation. And D. Develop projection and consider alternative courses of action. Yan. So, the first step of synoptic planning is, of course, you must prepare for planning. Ano ba yun? Prepare for planning, no? It is the task of planning should details work chart that specifies what events and actions are necessary. Then they must when they must take place, who is to be involved in each action and for how long, and how the various action will interlock with one another. That is preparation for planning. Now, so what are the steps in synoptic planning? You have number 1, prepare for planning. 2, describe the present situation. No? Planning have a mean for evaluation, and without an accurate beginning database, there is no reference point on which to formulate success or failure. Okay? Then develop projection and consider alternative future states. Projection should be written with an attempt to link the current situation with the future, keeping in mind the desirable outcomes. It is important for a police executive to project current situation into the future to determine possible, probable, and desirable future state while considering the social, legislative, and political trend existing in the community. So, and number 4 is to identify and analyze the problem. The discovery of problem assumes that a system to monitor and evaluate the current arena is already on place. Closely related to the detection and identification of issues is already on place. No? Then, of course, number 5 is to set goals. And setting goal is considered as the most important aspect of planning. Yan. So sabi ko nga kanina, mahirap makarating sa isang lugar kung saan hindi mo alam kung saan ka pupunta. Di ba? Yan, hindi mo naman alam kung saan ka pupunta, mahirap makarating doon. Kaya kailangan mag-set ng goal. Yan. It make no sense to establish a goal that does not address or does not address a specific problem. Remembering that the police department are often problem-oriented, choices about goals and objectives should adhere to the synoptic model. Take note, goals or setting goal is the most important aspect of planning. Now, number 6, identify alternative course of action. 7 is to select preferred alternatives. You have 8, plan and carry out the implementation. 9 is monitor and evaluate the progress. And 10 is the summation of synoptic planning approach. Okay? Number 27. The different means by which goals or objectives can be attained to is pertaining to A. Plans, B. Procedure, C. Strategies, or D. Alternatives. Different means or other means by which goals or objectives can be attained. So the answer is delta. That is alternatives. No? Alternatives. These are means by which goals and objectives can be attained. Yan po ang alternative. No? So ano nga ba ang alternative pa? No? Alternative. Let us say it may be a substitute, but not necessarily all alternatives are substitute. No? Yan. Parehas yung result, no? Pero iba yung pamamaraan. So that is alternative. Okay? Question number 28. It is one of the techniques in selecting alternative which a preferred course of action combines the strength of other techniques in selecting alternatives. A. Tactical analysis, B. Must-want analysis, C. Strategic analysis, and D. Cost-effective analysis. No? So, what is the technique in selecting alternatives which combine the strengths of other techniques? That is called must-want analysis. No, must-want analysis. Okay? So there are three methods, okay, that can be used in selecting preferred alternatives. First is strategic analysis. No, strategic analysis wherein each course of action is evaluated in accordance with general policies, rules and law. Yan yung po yung gumagamit po ng suitability, feasibility, and acceptability. Okay? Second is cost-effective analysis. Cost-effective analysis is a technique sometimes called as cost-benefit or cost-performance analysis. The purpose of this form of selection that the alternative chosen should maximize the ratio of benefit to the cost. No? Cost-effective nga eh. No? Hindi gaanong malaki ang nagastos, subalit na-achieve naman yung goals or objectives. No? While must-want analysis is a method of selecting preferred course of action combines the strength of strategic and cost-effective analysis. Must-want analysis is concerned with both subjective weights of suitability, feasibility, and acceptability and the objective weights of cost versus the benefits. Okay? Yan po ang tatlong method ng pag-select ng preferred alternatives. Question number 29. This approach in planning is based on the idea that problems are easier to solve when they are taken one at a time and broken down into gradual adjustment over the time. A. Radical planning, B. Synoptic planning, C. Transactive planning, and D. Incremental planning. No? Kung haharapin minsanan ang isang problema, mas mahirap. Ha? Mas mahirap. So, anong gagawin daw? Sabi ng planning approach na ito, okay, you must break a problem into specific problems because a problem is easier to solve when they are taken one at a time. So, isa-isa lang. No? Isa-isa lang. Okay? So, that is called as incremental planning. Incremental. No? Incrementalism concludes that long-range and comprehensive planning are not only too difficult but also inherently bad. The problems are seen to be difficult when they are grouped together. Pagka grouped together, minsanan mong haharapin yung problema, mahirap. Pero kung ito ay haharapin mo isa-isa, mas madali. So, yun po yung incremental planning. Yan. Okay, so yun ang incremental planning, no? You need to solve the problem one at a time. Okay, kabaliktaran naman ito ng radical planning, wherein in radical planning, it involves the large scale of social process and how they permit the character of social and economic life at all levels, which in turn determine the structure and evolution of social problems. It is too radical or it is too large, no? Yan, large scale. So yun po yung inyong keyword doon sa radical planning, large scale. Minsanan mong haharapin yung problema gamit yung planning na yun, planning approach, wherein the problem are grouped together. So it is very hard to come up with a certain solution, no? Yan po yung radical at saka incremental planning, no? So nakita nyo yung one at a time or the problems also one at a time, that is incremental. If the problem are grouped together, that is of course radical. Question number 30 and last number for this part 1 of police operational planning, no? It is the type of planning which needs face-to-face interaction with the people who are to be affected by the plan. These techniques include field surveys and interpersonal dialogue marked by a process of mutual learning wherein you need to go to the community who will be affected by the plan, and you need to get the ideas of the people therein, no? So that is of course transactive planning. It is face-to-face interaction. Okay? So transactive planning is not carried out with respect to an anonymous target community of beneficiaries, but face-to-face interaction with the people who are to be affected by the plan. Techniques includes field surveys and interpersonal dialogues, wherein the researcher will go to the field to have a survey. Okay? Well, advocacy planning, this is a type of planning wherein the beneficial aspect of the approach include a greater sensitivity to the unintended and negative side effects of the plan, no? Yan. So, please continue to listen to the videos that I have prepared for you guys. So the next part of this is lesson 2 or part 2 of the subject police operational planning. Thank you for listening to this video, and God bless us all.